Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Rocky 3, written and directed by Sylvester Stallone, starring him, Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, and Burgess Meredith. As you already know, I've watched Rocky 1 and 2 on the channel before, so do check those out if you haven't already. The link should be up there somewhere. Last we saw, Rocky just became the heavyweight champion of the world after knocking out Apollo Creed, a worthy opponent and a champion in his own right. I don't know whether this film is a direct continuation of the previous one, like Rocky 2, but as of the ending, he was on top of the world champion. About Rocky 3, I don't really know which one it is. Apparently there is one with Mr. T and one with the Russian fighter. Either way, I'm pretty excited to continue the series because the first two were pretty amazing. More of early Stallone is never a bad thing. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reactions to over 60 movies, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along, of course. The link should be in the description below. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Rocky 3, Stallone, Shire, Weathers. Let's go. We're hearing the iconic Rocky theme with Apollo and Rocky's last fight in the background. So this might be a direct continuation. Just like the first one, we're shown the last moments of the previous film. I mean, just like the second one. The finale of the music itself is just so good. Is that Eye of the Tiger? Oh man, this is a classic. This is one of those other songs which is a classic. The film is starting off with a montage of a successful string of victories. Hey, it's Mr. T. I pity the fool. I don't know where he said it though. He's on the cover of every single magazine, and they're showing cuts of Mr. T, a hungry young boxer, I'm guessing. And I think Mr. T is the underdog this time around because Rocky's the champion. Hey, sun is growing up.
I want a shot at the title. If Balboa's got the guts to meet me in the ring or anywhere else.
He's just defended his title for the 10th time.
10 defenses. One thing I already noticed is the camera work and the cinematography style is exactly the same, which is great news. I don't know what he's thinking. He was drinking during Rocky's fight montage as well. He's jealous. I don't get it. Rocky said he can make money off his name. Why?
You and I can go to hell, you know that?
Hey, watch your mouth, boy.
What'd you do for Paulie? Anything? 3 years, did you get me a job? Tell me, who fixed you up with your first woman? Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, you're your own man. You're responsible for your own future. Why are you always leeching off Rocky?
Shut your freaking mouth. You've been keeping me down.
Down. You know, you're like a crazy brother to me. You ain't down, and you ain't a loose. You're just a jealous, lazy...
Oh, what an accurate description.
I'm gonna bust your mouth up! Get on the job.
All you had to do was ask.
Come on, Rocky, you're gonna wake the baby.
Every time the theme is played on a piano, it gets me.
Most unlikely match for you, the boxer against the wrestler.
Oh, it's an exhibition match. Okay. Holy crap, that's Hulk Hogan.
I'm coming after you, Balboa.
Hogan was super popular in the mid-80s.
Thunderlips is here. In the flesh, baby.
Weighing 390 pounds.
390. Heavyweights are usually 200 to 250 pounds.
How much do you think he eats? About 202 pounds.
That's probably Rocky's weight.
All right, you guys, you know this is for fun, so take it easy and give him a good show.
This is not even fair.
Listen, after the match, how about we get a Polaroid together, okay?
You're in trouble, man.
Seems like lately everybody wants to beat me up.
He's the champion. Everybody would want to beat him up.
Listen, why don't we just move around a little bit, you know, like give him a good show. First off,
I don't think he's wrestling. Whoa, whoa. Those are bare knuckle punches. Oh man, what a perfectly filmed sequence.
Did you get a doctor?
Mickey is older now. He can't handle all this stress. This exhibition match really changed everything. I did not expect this from a Rocky film at all. Oh, impressive.
We have a draw. A draw.
hey, why'd you get so crazy on me out there?
That's the name of the game.
Well, listen, while you're still calm, can we get that Polaroid together?
But his house is like Apollo Creed's house.
And what happened to Goldilocks?
Happened to her, I'm not exactly
Busted
sure.
for trespassing and got 30 days in the
Oh,
court.
it's real nice, boy.
Why, Paulie? Why?
All right, you guys better go.
You're a good boy now.
I know what this is. It's the real life statue, which was kept after the film apparently, because I've seen pictures of it. That goes a lot to show the city of Philadelphia and how much Rocky has done for them in the movie and in real life.
Philadelphia salutes its favorite son, Rocky Balboa.
I don't know, what do you say to something like this? I think maybe it's time that I should,
Retire.
retire.
Don't get this sucker no statue.
Why don't you get the hell out of here?
Why don't you come out and close it out, boy? Come on. I'm telling you and everybody here. I'll fight him anywhere, anytime, for nothing.
Hungry fighters don't want the money as much as the recognition.
Any more of this? Hey, anytime.
I don't care what you rank.
What are you doing? I want to fight this guy.
I don't want no more. I don't want no more.
Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you'd like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? And I'll show you a real man. You want you got.
He knows exactly where to push Rocky's buttons. You don't mess with Adrian.
Why'd you walk away like that? I said, why are you doing this?
Because you can't win, Rock.
He's just another fighter.
This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry.
He's hungry.
Oh, what are you talking about? I've had 10 title defenses.
They was handpicked.
Setups?
Nah, they were setups. They was good fighters, but they wasn't killers like this guy.
Mickey handpicked opponents for Rocky. This must destroy his ego. This is great writing. This gives him like 10 times the motivation.
Presidents retire, generals retire, horses retire. That's what you should have done, retire.
Mickey's always with the good advice.
I'm asking you to train me one last time.
He's going to accept the fight and Mickey's going to train him.
Rock your robes, off the truck, clean stuff, get your robes.
And for the first time, I would say Talia Shire's character, Adrian, she looks older. Maybe it's because of the makeup, because it hasn't been too many years, I'm guessing.
Can we train in this creep joint here?
This is a training session? Oh no. I thought it was another press conference. I cannot believe this is his training. And the underdog is actually training like a champion. That's what happens, right? When you get success. And I just realized this is a dual training montage and they're not using the Rocky theme.
I just want to tell you one thing, that I'm proud of you.
I told you better get out of here. I want to be alone. They're clever.
I wouldn't say Mr. T's acting is top-notch, but it's good.
With us this evening is the former heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed.
Oh, great champion. Big fan of Carl Weathers too.
While experience in the world's hardest head would have to go to Rocky Balboa, and you know I know about that.
And he doesn't hold a grudge, just showing him to be a stand-up guy. I really hope Creed has some sort of role in this film, but it doesn't look like it.
You got the pace! Come on, Mel! I got him!
Oh no, Mick is having another heart issue.
What's wrong? Injury. Get a doctor! Oh, turn the fights off. Go on. Go on!
Tonight we're gonna fight.
Adrian, what am I supposed to do?
I have a feeling Rocky's going to lose the fight because Mickey's not on his corner. And there's 2/3 of the film left.
Get out my face! Don't need nothing you got no more. And you better get that bad look off your face before I knock it off. Want to jump? Jump!
Give everybody a present and drop this chump, all right? All right, good luck to you.
The undefeated Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang's undefeated. He does not look confident at all. Oh no, he's going to exhaust himself. Don't do that. The fight choreography became better and better at every movie. I like the actual editing process of the fights.
Coach Beck, he's okay. I need him now. I need him.
What do you got there? 200 over 50.
Is he going to lose the championship and Mickey in the same night? Yeah, that would make him a real underdog. And the music choice over here is just off-putting, and it's on purpose. Weird spatial noises to make us feel uncomfortable. Good choice by Stallone here.
Knockout.
What round? What round?
Second round.
Oh man, this just made it even sadder.
I love you, kid. I love you.
Nick?
I love you, kid.
Nick!
Were among his last words. And this time around, Stallone is using a lot more sadder music. I don't know how much time has passed, but it doesn't look too long since his injuries are still pretty visible.
That's not the way to do it.
It's Creed! I really hoped he had a bigger role, and he probably does.
I waited at your house for about an hour, and your wife said you might be here.
Why you?
Because I'm the best and you need somebody to teach you different. I know your manager dying had you all messed up inside. Now, when we fought, you had that eye of the tiger.
Eye of the tiger.
You got me curious.
You got me curious, Rock.
What a great scene between them.
Challenge for a rematch with Balboa.
Always said he was nothing. Apollo who? One has
Yeah,
been
just
teaching
keep
another.
talking, pal.
That's all Apollo been
Keep
doing,
talking.
been running off at the mouth lately.
Look at this place. Rats even have more pride than to be caught dead here.
This is a proper grassroots gym.
This is where I started. Got to get that look back, Rock. Eye of the tiger, man. Eye of the tiger, come on.
Look at this place. No class in here.
Shut up, Paulie, man. Oh, that's his old trainer.
We gotta leave. I got a reputation.
No, you don't, Paulie.
Come on, get those feet out of the concrete. Come on.
Apollo Creed is still ripped.
No time to waste. Let's go. Another lap. Another lap. That's it. Let's go. You got to pull. Hard now. Hard.
15 rounds is a long time.
You got to put him away early. Push yourself, Rock. Concentrate. Let's move.
Just doesn't seem convincing enough.
Damn, man. What the hell are you doing? You thought I was tough? This jump will kill you.
I just realized I like Apollo Creed just as much as I like Rocky.
Go. Come on. Come on.
You'll not get it tomorrow.
I don't think these flashbacks are having the intended effect on the audience, but it's definitely working on Rocky. I think this particular sequence could have been cut a little better and shown a little better to the audience.
It's all over.
Holding the camera on Adrian just told me that she is the only person that can motivate Rocky at this point.
Why'd you come here?
I wrecked everything by not thinking for myself. You wake up after a few years thinking you're a winner, but you're not. You're really a loser. I don't believe in myself no more, don't you understand?
Why don't you tell me the truth?
What are you putting me through, Adrian? I don't want to lose what I got. I'm afraid, all right?
There's nothing wrong with being afraid.
There is, for me there is.
It doesn't matter what I believe, because you're the one that's got to carry that fear around inside you. And you can't live like this. We can't live like this.
Oh, what an amazing wife.
How'd you get so tough?
I live with a fighter.
The best scene in the film. And Stallone is finally using the main theme. I also like this training montage. It's not as good as the second one. I think the second one was the best so far. Wow, that's impressive. There is one thing about the Rocky films I noticed. They don't show the opponent fighter enough. Like the first one and second one, I don't think I saw Creed as much. Fight night at Madison Square Garden.
Balboa is so predictable and stupid. No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool.
I pity the fool! He says it here. I pity the fool. I pity the fool.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Pain.
What?
Hey.
I want you to wear these.
Thanks, Bob.
Hey, and remember, after this, you owe me a favor.
It has to be something fun or funny, because both times he said it with a sly smile on his face, Apollo.
The word is that this is Rocky's last fight, win, lose, or draw.
He is tough. Boy, go back on your head.
He's still not a popular fighter, I guess, Clubber.
After I crucify him, you next.
Just stay out of my face, chump.
Don't turn your back on me, second. We had a problem before the last time.
191 pounds.
191. He lost 10 pounds and got leaner.
He looks like a middleweight.
I'll bust you out.
Go for it.
The whole crowd is on his side.
And another. Oh, this is not the...
Both of them are southpaw, so it's pretty evenly matched. Holy crap, Rocky's like super dominant. Why isn't Clubber Lang putting his hands together? Again, these fights are excellently shot, and they're not cutting away at the moment of impact.
I'll kill you, man.
Man, strong.
Now it's Lang coming out stronger at the start of the round,
Oh, he's being pushed to the corner. Oh no, did Rocky gas out again?
Balboa is gone.
Oh crap.
So bad. Yeah, look. What the hell are you doing?
Look, the strategy, that's all. I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't know what you're doing.
He's getting tired.
Oh, he's doing what Ali did or Floyd Mayweather does. And he's going to attack at the opportune moment, I think, when Clubber Lang is gassed out.
Can I get you? Come on.
He is back.
Come on,
Rocky's doing the taunting. He's doing the counterattacks. And he's going for the ribs, where he's really, really good at. Oh, the music is timed with the punches. Yo, Adrian, I did it, or yo, Mickey, I did it. Nice end.
Come on, we made
Oh.
a deal.
Whoa! For the first time, he didn't end the film like that. It's that favor he owes Apollo Creed.
You won by 1 second. You beat me by 1 second. 1 second. That's very hard for a man of my intelligence to handle.
Oh, is it? But didn't you say after I beat you, you learned how to live with it? Oh, so now you just gotta prove it to yourself,
Just
right?
for myself. No TV, no newspaper,
Wow.
just you and me.
Nothing, just you and me.
the amount of respect between these men.
Ding, ding. Namaste.
Boy, you really move good for an older guy.
Oh, you're looking good, Stallion. That taught you well.
Maybe I'm in here with the wrong guy.
Come on, watch yourself. Ready?
That was a great finish to the film, with a painting of them. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a really good movie. Unlike Rocky 1 and 2, which were great, this one was good. Since we are all well acquainted with the characters already, in this review I'm going to talk mostly about the plot, the acting, and the strengths and weaknesses of the film. The strengths included the excellent cinematography and editing carried over from the previous film, the acting by the main cast, and the music. Whereas the actual story itself, I felt, could use a little work, especially the utilization of the runtime, which we'll talk about soon. Let's get started with the writing and directing by Sylvester Stallone. In Rocky 3, Stallone's directing was much better than his writing. As the director, he used Rocky pretty well, at first showing him enjoying his newfound wealth and fortune. Over the first act, Stallone visibly shows Rocky losing his edge, making commercials and doing exhibition bouts with Hulk Hogan, of all people, all while showing us a hungry Clubber Lang, a young up-and-coming boxer, who keeps calling Rocky out. Although Mickey, his longtime trainer, is against the fight, he agrees to train him for one last fight after admitting handpicking opponents for him in the past, which is horrible to hear as a boxer, by the way. During the fight, Stallone makes a great choice as the director in killing Mickey's character in a heartbreaking way. One of the last things Mickey says to Rocky is that he loves him, and even after he lost, Rocky gives him comfort by telling him there was a second round knockout without revealing the actual winner. This had two effects on the overall story. Firstly, it gave Mickey an honorable death in the hands of his almost adopted son. And second, it demoralized Rocky to a point where he falls into severe depression. This was required. The audience needed to be in Rocky's corner again. Stallone needed to make him humble and an underdog again, and this was a brilliant way to achieve that, although not easy to watch at all. Enter Apollo Creed, Rocky's former rival and former heavyweight champion of the world. He shows up at Mickey's old gym and convinces Rocky to let him train for a rematch. At first, he is still unmotivated, but after an amazing, inspiring pep talk from Adrian, telling him to believe in himself and to do it for him and not for anybody else, Rocky finally, gives it his all and, stands toe to toe with Apollo Creed in the training camp. Here is where I had an issue with the script though. The runtime was little over 90 minutes compared to 120 minutes for the previous ones. I think more time could have been used to show more of Clubber Lang and that character. He was intriguing at first when he was calling Rocky out, but we barely got to see him apart from the scenes he was taunting Rocky. Unlike the previous two films, where we at least got to know what who Apollo Creed was, this film had no character development for its antagonist, Lang. Mr. T, though, he was pretty good in his role, but I don't know who his character was. Increasing the runtime from 90 minutes to maybe 110 minutes, providing more exposition on Lang would have served the story better, in my opinion. The film ends predictably, though, with Rocky regaining the championship after convincingly defeating Lang in the rematch. One thing to note here, though, I loved the way Apollo Creed was handled in all three films, but in particular this one. I think I like Rocky and Creed equally at this point. Again, shown to have class and the heart of a champion. The choice of ending the film with them going head to head and freeze framing at the moment of impact was a much better ending compared to the second film. Very good directing overall, but the writing not at par comparatively. Not bad by any means though. The music in the film was excellent. I had no idea Eye of the Tiger originated or was written for this film. I knew it was a Rocky film, but I didn't know which one. The score, as you know, is already excellent, and this time around it was complemented by Eye of the Tiger, which made it even better. There's a good argument that I can have that this might have the best soundtrack out of the three films, as the music was used just perfectly. Sylvester Stallone and Talia Shire played Rocky and Adrian. Stallone was pretty good with his acting skills, but again, like Rocky 2, Shire's performance was better. She felt like a turtle coming out of her shell this time around, not as shy as before, but still as supportive of her husband. Her inspirational monologue was probably the best scene in the film, along with Mickey's death, and she finally got to show more of her range than just being an introvert. Stallone was good too. Their on-screen chemistry was great as usual. One thing I found to be interesting was the parallels of the film and Stallone himself. Just like the movie where Rocky is shown to start to lose his edge, the real-life Stallone was also losing his edge in the writing of the films. Don't get me wrong, it was still good, but not as great as the first two. Burt Young and Burgess Meredith played Polly and Mickey respectively. Both their performances were stellar, honestly. Meredith's final appearance as Mickey was just wonderful to watch. He never ever liked to Rocky, ever. Maybe he handpicked a couple of opponents here and there for him, but there were fair fights nonetheless. If handpicking opponents is a crime, then I'm looking at you, Floyd Mayweather. Burt Young's Polly, on the other hand, I have mixed feelings about, honestly. Rocky calls him a lazy bum, but also his brother, accurately, by the way. But I seriously worry about Polly's future in the series, since Stallone is making it harder and harder for me to like him. Great performance, though. Carl Weathers and Mr. T played Apollo Creed and Clubber Lang. Carl Weathers as Creed was just fantastic. I've praised him enough by now for you guys to call me a fanboy, and I probably wouldn't disagree with you guys there. Both the actor and the character were great. Mr. T as Clubber Lang was good, but severely underutilized. I don't know a thing about the character except that he wanted to kill or defeat Rocky. What were the motivations for him apart from him being hungry? Previously for Creed, it was his family, respect, and being the best, all of which were shown to the audience during the runtime. I can't say the same about Mr. T's Lang. I felt like he was a straightforward bad guy with almost no story arc of his own. That was one criticism. The other would be, like I mentioned earlier, the runtime, which was significantly shorter than the previous two. I don't think they were limited with the budget this time around, since the first two were massive hits. I felt the runtime should have been increased to show not only more of Clubber Lang, but to show Rocky mourning Mickey's death, which he didn't do too much in this film. But apart from those, overall, this was a good film and still holds its place relatively well, at least within the first three films of the franchise. Stallone's acting and directing were great as usual, but his writing did take a hit. Talia Shire, Burgess Meredith, Carl Weathers, and Burt Young were fantastic too. These characters are hard not to relate to. Mr. T's Clubber Lang was good, but as I mentioned earlier, underutilized. This was not the best Rocky film, but I'm betting good money that it's probably not the worst one either. My question to you is, should I continue? I know that the Russian fighter has to be in the fourth or fifth one, because it's definitely not in 2006's Balboa. So I at least want to watch until that. Do let me know. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page, links in the description below. Consider being a patron, subscribe to the channel, do check out my other videos, like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.